Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so yesterday's video talking about the PVD watches, Bamford and Pro Hunter and those kind of watches. Well, there was a comment in the comment section of that video from Antonio. Antonio asks about the Kindler Thorpe watches. All right, well, what are they? Links in the description, but just let me explain them first. Well, what they are is basically watches, high-end watches that are engraved. And I didn't know what they were. I had to check them out. And I had a reaction, and then on the way home, on the train, I read a little bit about them, and I had a different reaction. So my initial reaction, well, I Googled it, and one of the first pieces that I saw was a two-tone date just. Link in the description, check it out. I thought it looked really nice. I thought it looked good. I sort of understood. But that's not to say that I would want it done to any of my watches, and it's not to say that I would buy any watch that had it done to it. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't want it done to my watches. I wouldn't want it done for free. But in light of the PVD coating, it seemed a little bit more artistic. There was something there with substance. At least more so than just spraying it with a matte black. Well, I read a little bit about Kindler and Thorpe, and the Thorpe in Kindler and Thorpe is Paul Thorpe, who used to make watch videos. I'm assuming it's the same Paul Thorpe. And link in the description to their webpage. Well, I had a bit of a change of heart. Part of it comes from the webpage. The more I read, the creepier and weirder and it became. And why? Well, first of all, it's there's a little bit of pomp there, talking about, you know, creating horological history. Overstated, I'd say. Look, all Rolexes, really all good high-end watches are in a sense a piece of history, and they'll be around long after their wear, and you don't need to engrave, essentially draw on the watch to make that happen. While my initial reaction and impression of that two-tone date just was, it wasn't that I liked it, but I wasn't totally opposed to it. But the more I thought about it, the more I decided what it really is just drawing on your Rolex. Yeah, I mean, engraving is hard to do, and it's an art. But it's drawing designs, and in a way, it's kind of childish. And it's especially childish when you see that on their site are pieces with, you know, a horse's head on it, or a dragon, link in the description, or the coup de cringe skulls. I mean, you lost me there with the skulls. Unrefined, not classy at all. And like, if they're doing skulls on some of these pieces, well, I can do without any of it, because I realize it's just sort of childish and scrawling on your Rolex, scrawling on your watch. One other thing that kind of turned me off is they do it to Rolex, fine. They do it to Pateks, fine. They do it to APs, all right. IWCs, that's a little bit utilitarian. I mean, I guess Rolex is too, but I don't know, something lost on the IWC. But They also do it on Hublot. Hublot. That just sealed it right there. Why would they do it on Hublot, I wonder? I mean, a lot of these people who have more money than sense would go for a Hublot. But they just wouldn't go for any Hublot. They'd go for one with scroll on it. And I can just see sort of the conversation. Yeah, you know, we'll put it on these high-end watches, but let's put it on some Hublots, because the typical Hublot buyer is sucker enough to want this thing we're making. They're expensive. A Milgauss, I want to say, was $15,000 or 15. Yeah, I don't want to misquote the prices, but it seemed to me it doubles the prices of the pieces. Now, who's doing the scrawling? Well, they've got a couple of different artists, Marcus and Joanne. I don't know who the hell they are. You could hire somebody to do this, though. I mean, you could, if you wanted this done, you could probably find somebody that does engraving and have it done. You know, I understand engraving's an art, but what I feel like is doing is taking art that should be art of its own right and sticking it on the Rolex and saying, hey, now it's like art on the Rolex. I mean, you know, you take out a dial of a Rolex and you get somebody to paint it and you stick it back in the Rolex and you combine the art with the Rolex. I don't know, it turns me off. I'm not into that. You know, again, if it's an engraving and it's something meant to go on your wall and that's nice, but yeah, not into it. And it's funny because I it's not like I could have been, but I could have understood it. But then when I saw the skulls, it just ruined it for me. I was like, yeah, this is just, look, it's a bit business. It's to make money. I get it, right? But I don't know. Keep it classy if you're going to do it. That's the way I feel about it. I just the skulls just did it for me. And now whenever I look at any of the flowing leaves and waves and anything that I might have said, no, that's kind of nice before, it just ruins it. Because you know, little things like check out some of the things they do. I don't know. I not a fan of it, and I wouldn't want it done, and I wouldn't want one of my Rolexes to have that on it. You know, are these pieces gonna go down in horological history? I don't think so. I think it'll just be scrawl on a watch, and I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, what are your reactions to it? I went from to no, and yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of these watches. Look, I'm a purist. Just give me a nice, beautiful watch like this. I don't need any fucking flowers on it, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.